Executive session. It is now 6:47, and the only items discussed in the executive session were items on the agenda. And we'll move on to item 6, consent agenda. Approval of previous meeting minutes, monthly financial report. And have all of you had a chance to look at those? Okay. Any questions? Motion made by Red, seconded by Bo. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, motion carries 7-0. Item 7, action discussion items. A, discussion only, attendance and enrollment. Mr. Watson.
You should have had the enrollment in your board packet. If you'll notice on the numbers, they were from February the 9th. Our enrollment at Higgins is 348, at Everett 260, Parker is 240, Bailey is 291, and in Stone is 541, and the high school was at 689. You notice we dropped about 11 students from last month to this month. I did look at the exit leavers from the students, and the majority of them are leaving town. We did have a couple went homeschool, and then one did transfer, so that's where those students are going. ADA enrollment at Higgins is now 312, Everett at 260, Parker is 214, Bailey at 291, Stone at 541, and the high school is at 689. The refined ADA was at 2145.98 at 93.65 attendance. I don't know if you remember our attendance for the year had gotten above 94, and then we had a couple of bad weeks of COVID where we had a lot of absences, and it brought us back down below 94. But we're still at that 2145.98 is still 39 more students than what we budgeted for, so we're still in good shape there. Any questions on the attendance?
I don't think so. Thank you. Item B, consideration and approval. Final version of District of Innovation Renewal. Mr. Watson.
If you remember in December, we talked about we had to renew our District of Innovation. And at that time, it had to be posted for 30 days. We had to have a meeting with our District of Innovation Council. And we had that meeting on January the 5th to go over the final version. I was out sick on last Wednesday, and I got back and trying to rush around and get the stuff along to get in the board book. I sent the original version, not the final version. There's a couple of little adjustments to that, and I put those papers on your desk. The first one was on page 31, and all it was a misprint of the date. It's right under the chart there, that first sentence. That should have read December 6, 2021. And so I gave you that adjusted sheet on that. And then the other one was on page 33, was the next to the last sentence. Originally we had a sentence that said proposed would reduce teacher contract days from 187 to, and then the original one it said a decreased length, and we have revised that to say 182 days to actually get more specific as the number of days. And so that sheet of paper that I gave you a while ago reflected that change. And so you should have the final version there. And is there any questions? Did you get a chance to look through? 6 of the waivers that we asked for were 6 we already had from previous District of Innovation. The only one that was added was the class size waiver, which was on the last page of that document. Everything else was just like it was before. We just have to renew it. It's every 5 years you have to renew it. And so at this time, if you have any questions, okay, then we ask that you approve this so that we could start this in March of this year.
Do we have a motion? Motion made by Bo, seconded by Joel. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, motion carries 7-0. Okay, thank you. Item C, consideration and approval, order and notice of election for North Lamar ISD Board of Trustees. Ms. Doyle.
In your board packet, there was a notice of election for this year, and I just need a motion to approve the notice of election for North Lamar ISD Board of Trustees for May 7th, 2022.
I have a question. I might be overlooking. Are we just gonna have one voting location this?
Yes, sir.
Was there a reason why?
We are doing a contract with the Lamar County, that's on the next item, but we're doing a contract with Lamar County Election Administration Office this year.
Okay.
Do we have a motion?
I move that we accept this.
Okay. A motion made by Sheila, seconded by Bo. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. And item D, consideration and approval, contract for election services between Lamar County Elections Administrator's Office and North Lamar ISD. Ms. Doyle.
And that was also in your packet, and I just need a motion for y'all to approve that we did go into contract for the election services between Lamar County Elections Administration Office and North Lamar ISD for the elections.
What are we gonna get by contracting with them that we didn't get with United and things out here at the school?
They are doing it all for us. We do
All
not have
judges,
Yes, sir. They're doing the early voting for us. They are doing the election day voting. All mail ballots go to the elections office here. We will not have to handle any of that.
They take care of all the workers as well.
Yes, they also take care of all the election workers.
I move that we make that contract with them.
Motion made by Jimmy,
I'll second it.
seconded by Red. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Ms. Doyle. And E, consideration and approval, secondary counselors comprehensive plan. Secondary counselors.
Good evening. My name is Gloria Booker. I'm the 7th and 8th grade counselor at Stone Middle School. Kathy Barker is the 6th grade counselor. The comprehensive counseling program we are presenting is required because of Senate Bill 179 that states 80% of counselors' time should be directly with students and 20 with other tasks. Ms. Barker does meet this requirement. I do not at this time because I'm 504 coordinator and 7th and 8th for 7th and 8th grade, and then I'm also the testing coordinator for the campus. The middle school program looks a little different than what elementary presented. Just the fact that our students go to class in 9 periods, so it's hard for us to do like group counseling without the students missing a lot of class time. Ms. Barker does RTI for all grade levels, 504 for 6th grade. I do 504 for 7th and 8th. Also, I'm the testing coordinator. At this time, middle school gives fall and spring interims, and then state testing in April. We also were selected to give a field test tomorrow to our 8th graders. So a lot of my time is spent on that kind of stuff. We do a lot of responsive services, which is dealing with those students that are just at crisis in the time. We see each of them. Each 3 weeks, we try to visit with the students that are failing classes. When the break check, would try to meet with them to see how we can help them to overcome those deficits. We also, in the fall, we went at least one time into different classrooms to do a guidance lesson with each grade level. We'll try to go again in the spring. This semester I started mini-meetings with the 7th graders just to kind of get to know them and let them know what's available to them on our campus. Ms. Barker has a group of students that she meets bi-weekly with. I also have a few of those. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have you always been with North Lamar?
No.
Have you,
I taught at Paris High.
okay, well, I was going to ask you, have you worked at a place where maybe the time management would work better for this age group? I know you said that the 9-period days, you know, busy, we go here, we go there, rush. I mean, I just can't imagine. Have you worked, is there something that you counselors would feel would be better for the kids, better for everybody?
Well, hopefully next year with the bringing on someone to do the 504 and the testing coordinating, that'll give us more time to be with our students and do more guidance lessons and things in the classroom. We just don't have the time to get into those classrooms to do the guidance lessons when we're testing and things. So hopefully that for next year will be fixed with.
You think the testing's going to be not maybe as much testing in the future, or think there's going to be more, or what?
Right now, like I said, we test in the fall and the spring, just interim testing, and then we give the state test. So and that's not including whatever they do in classroom.
Yeah.
That's just on my part that they do. So unfortunately, I don't see it going down.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Hello, I am Shannon Osmus. I am one of the counselors at the high school. And this is Amy Anderson, who is another one of our counselors at the high school. And then we also, of course, still have had the privilege of getting to keep Ms. Debbie Clark with us part-time. So we also get to have her at the high school. So as far as the counseling program, we've just been asked to maybe highlight a few of our goals and things that we hope to accomplish within our counseling program. We have amazing kids. And I think it's safe to say that we thoroughly enjoy being able to support them. And that is what we do. We are a source of support for our students, their academic, social, emotional well-being, college career readiness, which is a large part of what we do at the high school as well. And so we're really, really proud to be a source of support for them. As you look into our counseling program, there's a couple of needs that we kind of targeted and that we saw as needs that we had within our campus. One is to enhance academic achievement with an emphasis on college career readiness. We feel like that's a super big, important component of what we do at the high school. With COVID, we saw quite a bit of, some gaps with the distance learning that we had to do, and the kids just not getting to be at school like they normally are. And so we really want to increase our efforts to do that. That's a whole campus thing, but we feel like some of our areas we could do by, increasing career readiness, increasing their exposure to careers that they're interested in. That could be job fairs, college fairs, bringing in speakers from, our local community. And so those are some of the goals that we have with that. We also see a large need to kind of increase in the need for social emotional support. Right now, that's just an area that we see with teenagers especially. And so that social emotional support is so important. Unfortunately, it is difficult for us to spend the needed time. We do deal with some non-counselor duties that come with the territory, but we're really hopeful in the consideration of adding a 504 maybe testing coordinator to the high school campus, that we will be allowed maybe more time to spend that quality time with our kiddos. It also does, yes, help us to adhere to the Senate Bill 179. So those are just a couple of the things that we have, goals that we have, needs that we see on our campus. There are some others on our more detail in our packet, but those were a couple that we just wanted to touch on tonight. So, any questions there?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will need a motion to approve those comprehensive plans. Motion made by Joel, seconded by Bo. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. F, consideration and approval 2022 district goals. Ms. Chadwick?
So earlier this year, I brought forward the information about the need to establish new goals, and y'all agreed to go ahead and vote on the mission vision statement. So we did pass those, but we asked to hold on to the previous goals so that we could then rewrite these to more align with our lesson framework. So you have these new goals. They're in some ways they're very similar. We have the actual previous goals written so that you could do a comparison. But this one's just a little more detailed, and along with the detail, it also gives how we're going to show that we're actually accomplishing those goals, the evidence statement, where we're going to find the evidence that these goals are being attained. So we have still the 4 goals, and all 4 of these goals will be posted with your approval in the district improvement plan and all campus improvement plans, and then we'll use these goals to determine the strategies that they will then use to build their programs and their campuses around. Do you have any questions?
We'll need a motion to approve this as well.
I move that we accept the district goals.
Okay, motion made by Sheila, seconded by Bo. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, motion carries 7-0. Thank you. And G, discussion only, bond update, Parkhill.
Good evening, President, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Board. My name is Hector Santiago with Parkhill, current principal and project manager for the elementary school. I believe Rick Lavis is going to give an update on some of the bond projects, but as far as the elementary school, I'm not sure if you would like me to pull up a PowerPoint. If so, if you just give me a little bit of time to set it up.
Would it be okay if Rick went ahead and did his presentation
Yeah.
while you're setting up?
Sure.
Okay. Mr. Landis, you're up.
Thank you. I'll start with the high school. Intercom system is in, it's up and running. They got to put in the bell schedule, and there's a few minor things they got to work out, but pretty much completed. We're turning in a punch list every day to Ms. Russell to stay on top of those things. Softball is completed. There's a few things that need to be done, but it's our responsibility, not Symmetrics. Mechanical at the high school is finished. We started on stone last week. We don't have all the equipment. We have some. We don't have any power adapters. I talked to HWH today, which is Jimmy Ware, and they're working on that as we speak. So, intercom system is stone. Try to get something completed next week so we can start on that. Then we'll go to Parker next. Any questions?
Did you say the intercom system at the high school, is it completed?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, they got to put the bell schedule in, and then they'll do, like they got to adjust some things because there's some that's kind of low and can't hear some things. And Mr. Keith let me know today, and they're going to make a list and see Ms. Russell when they do it at night when nobody's here. So they'll get that list and work on those items at night, and then check again the next day. They're waiting on pricing to get to Ms. Stewart so we can start at stone. And so we get that done, they can start on that within a couple of weeks. Any questions? I didn't give anything, did I?
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I'll stand here so I can go ahead and advance the slides. Just want to go ahead and give you an update on the elementary school. Now, once we got geotechnical information late December, we started exploring a two-story option for efficiencies of the information we got back from the geotechnical report. And just want to go ahead and go over a proposed floor plan for two-story and then a site plan for a two-story option, and show you a little bit of the updated renderings. All this still in flux, you know, obviously with the floor plan elevations, but just want to give you a rough idea of what it's looking like right now. So one of the early things that has been requested is to move special education into the classroom wing to be more inclusive. We've done that, and that afforded us some efficiencies in reducing corridor widths and corridor lengths, and that squared up the administration that you see at the very top over there. And I'll have update more enlarged plans of each area here shortly, but this is the overall. And what you see in red is stairs that obviously for vertical circulation, and at the center of that academic wing is the elevator as well. And pretty much in going into a two-story option forces efficiencies in not having extended corridors where you had the corridor connecting one academic wing to the other academic wing. So that also helped in that aspect as well. As far as the administration, you want to make sure that everybody knows all the spaces are there. We just took it from a rectangular form into L-shaped form that just did this, and with all the spaces that we have there, everything nurses still stayed exactly the same, and everything's as functional as we previously had it. Library, pretty much one of the things we also did, taking advantage of the fact that we moved SPED into the academic wing, being two-story, we had the same outline of the academic wing, but we had more space in there. So we actually also moved the art room and the makerspace as well into the academic wing, because on the first floor we have SPED on the northern wing and then on the southern wing. On the second floor, above those spaces, we have the art room on the northern wing and the makerspace on the southern wing. One of the things we did compact the floor plan a little bit more. We still have the social stairs. The thing we did need to do is eliminate the individual platform and one, but you're still going to have the ability to have those performances by doubling the music classroom as a platform. So we'll have an operable partition pretty much at this location that'll close it off, and you'll still have your typical music classroom, and then open that up, and then you'll have the platform. As far as the neighborhoods, the grade level neighborhoods, we still have all the classrooms that were in the program. We have our collaboration, which is in purple, and we have our restrooms and intervention spaces. And like I mentioned, we moved the SPED classrooms into the neighborhood, as you can see here, with their restroom and sensory room as well. And then we still have the PLC and the lounge for the staff. This particular one is the one right above it. This is the one that has the art room and art storage over the SPED on the first floor. And everything else is the same as far as the classrooms. And then on the second level, on the southern wing, we have the makerspace, which is this one right here, and then all the classrooms, and then obviously the intervention at the top right corner as well. And then just to take advantage of the fact that, Geotech report allows us to have a two-story without much impact to the structure that we need to have for the foundation. This also affords us the fact that we can develop less area of the site, and so less of an impact, but it also affords the possibility for future expansion should you need it. Like previously we had this academic wing over here, so that affords that possibility of future expansion as well, in case you ever need that. And just to reiterate, we're looking at materials and different elevations as far as, essentially exterior building materials, brick, and whether we can incorporate some concrete masonry unit that's split face at the bottom, to try and see what is most economical, whether we take it all brick or we have some CMU up to a certain level, and we're still looking to that, but did want to just show you some progress on the renderings as far as how it's looking. That's obviously the main entry, and the big volume with a lot of the windows is the library, and then the space over here is the tall window is the dining space, and this is the kitchen. Just another view from the other side where you see the main admin square now, and then you see the gymnasium, which also is the storm shelter. That's why we don't have windows there, because the storm shelter, it's really expensive to try and incorporate windows, so they would have to be storm rated. And then starting to explore, look at the look of the two-story academic wing. We're different studying right now. This was our initial take on it, and rather than grouping 4 windows, we're kind of thinking if we group a couple windows, I think it'll have a better rhythm. So if we start looking into that, but nothing is set in stone yet. And just another view of the other side of the dining and the academic wing, and this corner piece, the kitchen. And just to give you an idea of what some of those collaboration hubs could look like, there's some that are used for additional stack area from the library, and we anticipate being able to have to do that as well here. Take some of the stack space and have a dispersed library into the collaboration hub of the neighborhoods. And you obviously can have breakout sessions with students in that collaboration hub as well. And that is pretty much the update I have on elementary school. I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. Yes.
In the first rendering that they showed us, they said they're gonna have to move it kind of a northwesterly direction to get it to fit on our building site. Now that you're going up, can it be facing more toward the highway?
This is the, we previously had it a little bit more facing the highway.
Yes, sir.
But we went ahead and had to rotate it 35 degrees in order to align better with the collector road that we need to do. And that, if we had left it over there, it would have been a little bit closer to, the highway.
Well, that's why I was asking, because somebody from the city says we got to put this big major highway into our school, and I'm trying to reduce the cost there if we can,
Yes, and what we've done is reduce the length of that. We previously had go past that because we had a fire lane that looped over here, and one of the requirements also was when the district bought the property, they had to provide an access road to the church.
I understand that part, sir.
Yeah, so we have that. So that's one of the points where as far as getting close to that church property, to not make it too long, that's also one of our deciding factors as far as how long the collector road goes to. And then it also would provide a secondary access to the site should the fire department need to go into it. Most times you would have fire apparatus going to the collector road, but potentially you would, what if something was blocking that? And so by having that access, that actually allows you a second access point to the site.
Does it show a road connecting it to the main campus? Is there going to be like behind the high school or?
Yeah, we don't have that. Previously we had a road that kind of looped and provided the bus access. It does get a little expensive as far as the length of that. So that is one thing that we try to figure out a way to have buses and parents come into the site. What we studied is having the buses come in through here and go here, and have the parents go here and drop off here. So
We
What he's
requested that to
asking
be
is
prime.
connected to the rest of the campus.
yes, as far as connected, we don't have that anymore. So we're trying to address, one of the things that I think was requested was access for the buses to come from main access over here.
Yeah, we did ask for a request for that.
Oh, 271?
Well, without having to go out to 271 and come around,
Yeah.
In a road going to the campus.
Right.
Corey, you want to address that?
Yeah, so, I've also got Tim Glenn's our VP of Construction. He came with us tonight, and Nico is with Park Hill too. Nico's jumped on board to help these guys with the project. So, as Hector mentioned, when they come in December, the geotech came in, as we worked through the holidays, budget concerns started to arise on the project. We worked pretty hard with these guys, especially over the last 3 weeks. Multiple meetings.